The evening sky was painted with streaks of gold as I approached the Buddha under a tranquil banyan tree. His presence exuded an aura of calm that instantly stilled my restless mind. I sat before him, my heart heavy with questions I dared not voice. "Master," I began hesitantly, my voice barely above a whisper, "I feel my life spiraling out of control." His gaze met mine, serene and unwavering, urging me to continue. I try to grasp at solutions, yet everything eludes me like water slipping through my fingers, I confessed. The Buddha smiled gently, his hands resting lightly on his lap as he prepared to speak. "Tell me, what is it you seek to control?" he asked, his voice as steady as the earth. I stumbled over my words, overwhelmed by the enormity of his question. My decisions, my failures, even the thoughts that haunt me. I feel consumed by a storm I cannot weather. His eyes gleamed with compassion, revealing neither judgment nor pity, only understanding. "The storm exists because you resist its power," he said, his words piercing through the fog of my mind. "To resist is to suffer. But how can I not resist when chaos surrounds me?" I asked, desperation clinging to my tone. He extended his hand, palm open, and plucked a small leaf from the ground. "Look closely," he instructed, holding it with care. "If I crush this leaf in my fist, what will happen?" I hesitated, then replied, "It will crumble into fragments, its essence destroyed. And if I hold it gently, without clinging, what then?" he asked, his eyes seeking mine. "It remains intact, unharmed by your touch," I admitted, understanding dawning within me. The Buddha nodded, his hand lowering as the leaf fluttered back to the earth. "Control is an illusion born of fear," he said softly. "Fear drives us to grasp at what cannot be held. But without control, how can I guide my life?" I questioned, feeling my heart beat faster. He chuckled, a sound so light that it carried the weight of wisdom. "You mistake guidance for domination, my student. To guide is to understand, to adapt, and to trust the flow." I furrowed my brow, still caught in the tangles of my uncertainties. What if the flow leads me to suffering instead of peace? He placed his hand over his chest, emphasizing his next words. "Blessed one," I said, trembling. "What if I fail to weave with noble threads and falter in my practice?" The Buddha smiled gently, his presence a beacon of reassurance. "Even a single thread of kindness begins the healing process. Begin by recognizing the transient nature of all things," he said, his tone firm yet comforting. "Life's flow is impermanent." "Impermanent," I echoed, the word reverberating through my thoughts like the ripples of a pond. "Does that not make surrender to it even harder?" The Buddha gestured to the banyan tree above us, its leaves swaying in the evening breeze. "These leaves fall when the time comes. Yet the tree remains rooted," he observed. "Life is the same. What comes and goes shapes us without destroying us. But what if I lose what anchors me? The roots of my stability?" I asked, feeling my fears resurface. "Stability is found not in what you grasp, but in the wisdom that strengthens your spirit," he replied. "Let go of the notion that control brings peace. For peace thrives in surrender's embrace." "But surrender feels like giving up," I countered, my voice trembling. "Giving up is the refusal to act. Surrender is the choice to trust the path," he clarified. "How can I differentiate between the two?" I asked, eager to understand. "By your intentions," he said, his hands spreading as if unveiling the truth. "Surrender flows from courage, while giving up arises from fear. Then how do I cultivate this courage to surrender?" I inquired, feeling his wisdom beckoning me closer. "Begin by observing life without judgment," he advised. "Witness the currents, not as obstacles, but as lessons meant for you." "But how can I see lessons in chaos? In pain?" I asked, struggling to embrace his perspective. "The storm clears the skies, revealing clarity that could never exist without its turmoil, he explained patiently. Do storms not also destroy what lies within their path? I asked, challenging his view with my doubts. Destruction leads to renewal, he said simply. The spaces cleared by loss make room for new growth. His words lingered in the air, carrying truths I was still learning to accept. And what of the fear that chains me, keeping me from release? He leaned closer, his voice intimate yet profound. Fear dissipates when confronted, but thrives when ignored. Turn to it with curiosity, and it will lose its grip. How do I confront what terrifies me without succumbing to it? I asked, desperation still coloring my tone. Recognize fear as a shadow, intangible, fleeting, incapable of harming when understood, he explained. It looms larger only when you look away. Yes, blessed one, the disciple replied, his gaze fixated on the flowers, their perfection stark against his inner struggles. Where do their roots rest? The Buddha asked, his tone calm yet probing, inviting the disciple to observe deeper truths. His teachings wove through my thoughts like a thread, binding wisdom to vulnerability. As the last light of day faded, I knew the storm within me had begun to ease. The beauty of the lotus cannot exist without the mud that nourishes and anchors its roots. But, Master, the disciple queried hesitantly, how can something pure and beautiful arise from such filth and darkness? The mud holds potential, the Buddha explained. He walked steadily, his robes brushing the earth, exuding a serene presence that calmed their restless hearts. We arrived at a village, where a farmer labored diligently, sowing seeds into the freshly plowed soil. True happiness, like the lotus, requires understanding the nature of suffering and embracing its role within life's cycles, the Buddha said. The disciple nodded faintly, his heart tentatively opening to the unfamiliar perspective that painted suffering in a transformative light. This farmer sows his seeds with care, yet does not cling to their fate. I watched closely, my thoughts swirling with questions I yearned to ask. Master, I ventured, breaking the silence, how can he plant without fear of failure or loss? The Buddha turned to me, his expression one of infinite patience. He understands his role in the cycle of life, he explained. He tends the earth, trusting that nature will fulfill its part. His words resonated within me, though doubt still lingered. But what if the rains do not come, or the sun scorches the earth? I asked, my voice tinged with worry. The Buddha smiled, as if anticipating my concern. The farmer does not control the rain or the sun, he said. He accepts what lies beyond his reach. Then how does he find peace in such uncertainty? I pressed, eager to unravel the mystery of his wisdom. Peace arises from knowing he has done his part with intention and care, the Buddha replied. The rest is surrender. I glanced at the farmer, who worked tirelessly without a trace of hesitation or fear. But surrender feels like relinquishing hope, I said, struggling to reconcile his teachings with my fears. The Buddha crouched and picked up a handful of soil, allowing it to sift through his fingers. Hope is not found in clinging, he said, watching the soil fall. It flourishes when we let go and trust. How can I trust when so much is at stake? I asked, my voice trembling with vulnerability. He placed the remaining soil back onto the ground, his movements deliberate and reverent. By recognizing that control is not the source of stability, he answered. True stability lies in understanding and balance. But what if I fail, despite my best efforts? I asked, the fear of failure gnawing at my resolve. The Buddha stood and dusted his hands, his gaze steady and compassionate. Failure is not the end, he said. It is a lesson, a step toward growth and resilience. How does one cultivate resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity? Through mindfulness and compassion, the Buddha said. Resilience is not merely enduring hardship but transforming it into a path of growth. The Buddha gestured toward the fields, now shimmering under the morning sun. His secret is his faith in the process, he said. He acts with purpose, yet does not cling to outcomes. How can I cultivate such faith in my own life? I asked, yearning for guidance in my journey. Begin by focusing on your intentions, he advised. Tend to your tasks with care, but release your grip on their results. His words stirred something within me, a seed of understanding that sought to grow. But releasing my grip feels like losing control, I admitted, my voice tinged with uncertainty. To lose control is to find freedom, he said, his tone steady and reassuring. Freedom to grow, adapt, and embrace life's flow. Ananda, the Buddha said, peace blooms like these flowers, nurtured by sunlight, water, and the unseen richness of the soil. He knelt beside a blossoming plant, his gentle hand tracing its delicate petals as the disciples watched in attentive silence. The Buddha gestured toward the open field, where the breeze played with golden stalks of grass, dancing with effortless grace. Tell me, child, the Buddha inquired gently, do the grass and wind seek treasures outside themselves to fulfill their existence? The disciple hesitated before replying. No, blessed one, they simply are. Master, does the farmer never feel doubt or fear? I asked, curious about his apparent ease. Doubt and fear visit all beings, the Buddha said. The farmer feels them, but does not let them dictate his actions. How can I learn to act without being paralyzed by fear? I asked, the weight of my struggles evident in my voice. Face your fear with clarity, he said. Acknowledge it, understand it, and it will lose its power over you. And what of doubt? I asked, feeling its shadow over my thoughts. Doubt is a question seeking an answer, he said. Approach it with curiosity, and it becomes a doorway to understanding. I took a deep breath, the Buddha's words soothing the chaos within me. Master, how do I know if I am truly letting go? I asked, seeking reassurance. Letting go feels like lightness, he said. It is the absence of clinging, a release that brings clarity and peace. But what if the lightness feels unfamiliar or frightening? I asked, my apprehension surfacing once more. Embrace the unfamiliar as a sign of growth, he said. Fear of change fades when met with acceptance and courage. Mindfulness grows, he continued, through present moment awareness. Breathe, observe, and anchor yourself to the now. Without judgment, trust wavers when the mind strays into the past or future, the Buddha said. To trust fully, one must remain present. Gratitude transforms even simple moments into abundant treasures of joy. The disciple bowed, deeply, his heart stirred by the clarity and wisdom within the Buddha's words. Observe each moment as it unfolds. Without judgment or attachment, his words felt like a balm to my restless spirit, a path to the peace I sought. Every step, even backward, teaches you and shapes your journey toward growth. The disciple felt a surge of hope as he heard these words. It teaches us to cherish the present while releasing the illusion of permanence. But does impermanence not make life feel uncertain? I asked, grappling with its implications. Impermanence is a gift, he said. It reminds us to live fully, appreciating each moment without clinging to it. He resolved to walk the path, cultivating compassion, mindfulness, and gratitude, step by step, day by day. As night fell, the teachings of the Buddha echoed within him, a beacon guiding his journey toward true inner wealth. Contentment arises from doing what one can and accepting what one cannot, he said. It is the fruit of balance. How can I achieve such balance in my own life? I asked, hopeful for his wisdom. Balance is found in aligning effort with acceptance, he said. Act with intention, then trust the process without attachment. I watched the farmer resume his labor, the seeds scattering like stars upon the soil. Master, what becomes of the seeds if they do not grow? I asked, contemplating the fragility of life. Even unfulfilled efforts nourish the earth, he said. Master, a disciple asked, how do we cherish the present without clinging to it? The Buddha's answer was as clear as the reflection in the still waters of the pond. By living fully, he said. By embracing each moment as it is. Without expectation. Without resistance. Master, is this rhythm what you call the flow of life? I asked, eager to understand. Yes, he said, his voice imbued with reverence. The Buddha's presence, unwavering in its clarity, illuminated the path to a happiness beyond striving. Happiness, he said, is not an object to possess but a harmony with the flow of life. Move with awareness and grace, he said. Trust the rhythm, and you will find your steps in harmony with life. The sun climbed higher, its warmth embracing the earth as the farmer's field glistened with potential. The Buddha's teachings echoed in my heart, planting seeds of understanding I was only beginning to nurture. Another day, the disciples gathered under the shade of a tall neem tree as the Buddha rested against its sturdy trunk. The morning light filtered through the leaves, casting patterns upon the earth like whispers of tranquility. Among the disciples was a woman named Sujata, whose sorrow seemed etched into the lines of her face. She stepped forward, her hands trembling as she folded them in respectful greeting. Master, she said, her voice fragile yet determined. My grief consumes me. I hold tightly to the memory of what I have lost. Happiness, he said, is not found in permanence but in presence. In living each moment as it is. The fireflies, their dance endless, reflected the beauty of life's impermanence. A lesson etched into the heart of the night. The disciples sat in silence, the stillness becoming a space for reflection, for understanding, for growth. The Buddha's teachings, simple yet profound, became a compass guiding us to a happiness rooted in the present. I cannot release the pain, for it is all that remains of him. The Buddha paused, his breath measured as he absorbed the weight of her grief, his hands resting upon his knees. In trust, he said, happiness resides, not as an object to chase but as a presence to live. The lesson deepened, its truth unfolding with the rhythm of the night, becoming a part of our being. How can I understand when the ache within me feels endless? Like a storm without reprieve? Sujata asked, her voice wavering. The Buddha picked up a nearby stone, holding it lightly within his open palm. If I grip this stone with all my strength, what will happen? He asked, his gaze meeting hers. Your hand will tire, and the stone will cause you pain, she replied hesitantly, unsure of his meaning. And if I hold it gently, without resistance or attachment, he continued, his expression unwavering. It will rest without harm, she answered, her voice tinged with curiosity. Grief, too, can rest within an open heart, he said. To release control is not to forget but to honor the love. But how can I honor my love when it feels lost to the void? Sujata asked, her tears glistening in the sunlight. Love transcends the boundaries of loss, he said. It lives not in what is held but in what is given freely. How can I give freely when my heart feels hollow and burdened? She questioned, desperation lacing her tone. Begin by recognizing grief as a teacher, he said. It reveals the depth of your love, a love that cannot be extinguished. The disciples listened intently, their own sorrows stirring within them as the Buddha's words sought to bring clarity. But what if my grief overwhelms me and blinds me to life's joys? Sujata asked, her brow furrowing. The surface reflects chaos, not truth. Do you understand? But Master, Mara asked, how do we still the ripples? My mind feels like a storm, ever restless and chaotic, accepts sorrow as part of life, even when it feels unbearable. She asked, struggling to grasp his teachings. The Buddha gestured toward the tree above them, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. This neem tree bends with the wind, its roots anchoring it through the storm. So must you anchor yourself in understanding. What if the storm uproots me, leaving me adrift and aimless? She asked, the fear in her voice palpable. Uprooting is not an end but a beginning, he said. Observe them, and they lose their power. But Master, Subhuti asked, how do we observe without judgment? Negative thoughts often provoke strong reactions within us. Master, how can I move forward when the past grips me so tightly? She asked, yearning for guidance. Do not fight the grip of the past, he said. Acknowledge it, honor it, and gently release it to make space for the present. But releasing the past feels like betraying what I hold dear, she said, her voice trembling. It is not betrayal, he said. It is an act of courage, a testament to your resilience and the love you carry. Mara spoke again, his voice quieter now. Master, sometimes my thoughts feel like chains, binding me tightly, but it need not weigh down your spirit. How can I lift its weight when it feels endless? She asked, still searching for clarity. What happens when one link breaks? The chain falls apart, losing its hold, Mara replied. His brow furrowed in thought as he considered the metaphor. Indeed, Buddha said, your attachment to thoughts is the link. New forms? She asked, her voice tinged with both curiosity and hesitation. The energy of love transforms, he explained. Buddha gently touched the water's surface. Begin with awareness. Master, how can I trust life's cycle when it seems cruel and indifferent? She asked. Life's cycle is not cruel, he said. It is impartial, offering both challenges and gifts to foster growth and understanding. But what if the challenges feel insurmountable, stripping away my strength and hope? She asked. Challenges are opportunities to deepen your connection to resilience, he said. They awaken the dormant strength within your spirit. How do I awaken such strength when despair feels all-consuming? She asked, her tears falling upon the soil. Begin by breathing deeply, he said. Each breath is a reminder of your vitality, a bridge to the present moment. Sujata closed her eyes, her breath steadying as she absorbed the simplicity of his instruction. Master, how do I find meaning in life after experiencing such loss? She asked. Meaning is not found in holding but in releasing, he said. It is revealed through the act of living and loving. How can I learn to live again when my heart feels shattered? She asked, her voice raw with vulnerability. A shattered heart allows light to enter, he said. Let its pieces illuminate the path to renewal and connection. But what if the path feels obscured, with no direction to follow? She asked, her doubts surfacing once more. Direction is not revealed all at once, he said. It unfolds step by step, guided by your courage and compassion. How can I cultivate courage in the face of so much pain? She asked, her voice steady yet pleading. Courage is born in your willingness to face the pain without letting it consume your spirit, he said. Sujata nodded, her sorrow gradually giving way to a flicker of hope, a flame she barely recognized. Master, will I ever truly heal from my grief? She asked, her question trembling with the weight of longing. Healing is not forgetting, he said. Master, how do we bring stillness into our daily lives? What actions cultivate this clarity? Buddha turned to the group. Begin with mindfulness. Master, what becomes of my love when the person it was for is gone? She asked, seeking solace in his answer. Love transcends physical presence, he said. It continues to flow, nurturing you and others through acts of kindness and connection. Sujata knelt before him, her heart lifting despite its brokenness, ready to embrace the teachings he offered. The neem leaves rustled in the breeze, carrying the promise of renewal and the wisdom of life's impermanence. The Buddha's words lingered in her heart, a seed of understanding ready to grow. As the sun rose higher into the sky, We all rose to continue our journey, knowing that life's flow was always there to guide us. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.